Welcome back to the Barry Sheen Memorial of 20014. This year we have 140,000 paying spectators. It's quite incredible. Air shows, and we've got people all dressed up. And tucked away in the middle is the second leg on Sunday, today, of the Barry Sheen Memorial. This race was designed to run over 8 laps per rider and will feature a Le Mans start. The first race saw the Australians run away with it. They actually went off into the blue yonder. Jeremy McWilliams was riding his 52 Max Norton so hard he bent it and actually bent the front forks. The organisers have been good enough to bring in a 1961 Works Max Norton, and that will be very, very quick. So we'll see today. It should be a much closer competition in the fight for the first 4 or 5 places. Members have you got in the old team?
Oh, good. We've got about 30 at the moment in our lot.
Yeah.
But they're pegging out quite fast.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm 65 now, believe it or not.
So it's going to get pretty hot then, eh?
A lot of these mods came down to Brighton on the train.
Yeah.
And the police chased them up.
Yeah.
Back to the railway station.
Right.
But it was all blown up out of proportion.
So you reckon the press paid some of the mods?
They paid
some of the rockers.
mods,
yeah.
10 shillings.
Really?
And the rockers £1 to stage the fight. Yeah.
So what happened? 0?
No, nothing really happened.
He doesn't remember much after that because he got knocked out.
It's not just the on-track action that makes the event what it is. Pits and paddock help recreate that special atmosphere, and the whole lifestyle of the era has been painstakingly recreated. If it's not mods and rockers, it's a parade lap of wartime military vehicles and bikes. Goodwood was originally an airfield during World War II and lived through the swinging 60s as well. So all this was accurate and in keeping with the spirit of the event and the track's history.
Unfortunately, it's not very quick. I mean, obviously last year we had a quick motorbike. This year it isn't so quick. It's a BSA Gold Star. It's not revving particularly well, and it's certainly not very quick. But hey, we're having a ball. It's a fantastic event to be at, and we're just privileged to be here. I think the bike's about 1953 or something. But it's what?
54.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I've just been corrected. It's a 1954 motorbike. And it seems, touch wood, so far it's been reliable, but it ain't fast. But we're having a lot of fun.
Preparations are fully underway for race 2 of the Barry Sheen Memorial, although she certainly wasn't around in the 1960s. Another aspect of the meeting is how accessible all the stars are, how different to the racetracks of today.
Yeah, myself and Glenn Richards, and also, with Glenn and Scott Smart as well. It's a good thing not both of us, and both came out on top. So.
Is it like doing it in slow motion or what?
Yeah, you know what? It is to a certain degree. It's like coming down the back straight, I'm trying to grab hold of Glenn's front brake lever and just having a bit of fun. Good effort from both.
Time for race 2, and the riders line up opposite their bikes on the pit straight. And they're off. As in race 1, it's the number 7 Norton and the number 86 Vincent who get off the line fairly well and are soon making the running up at the head of the field. Neither is giving any quarter nor sparing the machinery in any way. The racing was just as fierce as race 1 and absolutely brilliant to watch. The Vincent was fast, but the Nortons were nimble and being ridden by slightly better riders, which just gave them the edge. pits, tall tales of daring do are told as, out on the track, the day's racing starts to take its toll on some of the competitors and some of the bikes. These are relay races, each rider completing 8 laps, and pit stops then, as now, are where races can be won or lost. Williams and Beaton on the Norton and the Vincent respectively at it hammer and tongs right to the finish line. And if you watch carefully, you'll see the gearbox on the Vincent sees as he approaches the finish line. Now, how about that?
Because, you know, I had a bit of a bad start there, and but I managed to catch up, and then I just couldn't pull away from the guys. They were so fast, and congratulations to the other guys. You know, they done a really good job.
How's that? I mean, that was pretty lucky, wasn't it, when the gearbox locked up on that bike and he still managed to coast over the line, though I think he was quite grateful he was actually on the bike.
Yeah, but it is the perfect race bike, isn't it? It brakes as it finishes the race. It's just got enough to do that, and that's it. But it must have given him a bit of a moment.
Yeah, so the racing is spectacular, even though it's more about the actual atmosphere around the whole racing, isn't it? Although you made a good observation when we were talking off-air about the fact that the modern riding style on the old bikes.
It looks really weird, doesn't it? I mean, you're used to seeing old black and white film of these guys and they sit on the bike and they don't move, but these guys hanging off with their knee down, it looks a bit incongruous, really.
Yeah, it doesn't quite add up. But the nice thing about Goodwood, probably the major thing about Goodwood, is it's all the stuff going on around the racing that...
Oh, massive. I mean, there's mock-up workshops and garages, and there's even an old supermarket which they've mocked up. And then there's all the parades of the mods and rockers of the army bikes.
Yeah, all the army bikes were fantastic, weren't
lovely,
they?
some of those things.
Yeah, I think I have to tell you that, I mean, he really goes gooey and moist when he sees all this stuff. You built and owned a Triton, didn't you?
I did have a cafe race.
And we saw some of those there.
Some of those guys.
And the mods and rockers, which you saw the old guys, I think, like Harry said, a lot of the bikes seem to be doing better than the actual mods and rockers.
There were a couple of spanners short of a toolbox, weren't there, some of those guys?
So I can't work out, you were a rocker, I presume?
I was.
OK, are you getting any fights?
No, because I was always too busy fixing the bike by the side of the road. I never got to where the fight was.
Never got to the fight, no.
It took us 8 hours to get to Brighton from London, usually. Because a bunch of 20 people all breaking down every mile or so. You didn't get very far.
Yes, let's move swiftly on. I think we need to thank Ian Groat, who went over, and he didn't race this year, but I think he might in the future. So thanks, Ian, for that very interesting look at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Stay with us, because when we return after the break, we're going to be taking a look at Ducati's latest middleweight naked bike.